Blah freaking blah. Hey there, guys. Good to see you. I'm glad you're with me. Thank you for listening. My name's Eric. This is Blah freaking blah. Before we get started, if you're new here, please go ahead and click that subscription button because we talk about movies and we talk about comic books. We take Marvel to task if we have to, etc., etc. Just talk about things that are interesting. That's why it's called Blah freaking blah. After all, it's what we do. We talk. It's a very small community right now, but we're happy to have you. Whether you agree or disagree, please leave a comment down below. I always like reading what you guys have to say, and some of the stuff that you guys write are really, 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 really interesting and insightful, and they always add to what I'm trying to learn and talk about. And so I want to start this podcast off with a question. Because I honest to God need help with this. You guys, what is Marvel Legacy exactly? Does Marvel even know what Marvel Legacy is? Because the reports seem to be just greatly conflicting. Now, I want to go into a little bit of what I see Marvel saying. So Marvel's done the usual press release nonsense on Legacy. They've actually upped the overspeak this time. It's no longer going to be a game changer. It's going to change the entire comic book industry. And this is not the first time I've made fun of this. But it's worth making fun of again, I think, especially in light of the fact that they sent out this press release with 52 titles on it. Not kidding. It literally was Marvel's new 52. And they've now, in case you didn't know this, they've now shoehorned one. I haven't looked through here to check to see which one they added. They shoehorned one more title in there, so it was now 53. I mean, they could not have made it more obvious that they were aping success of DC's New 52 and Rebirth than by putting out 52 titles. And the thing is, I've long been saying this. I'll say it again. I don't believe this is anything. I don't. I believe this is a corporate gimmick. I believe that they see that this is a gimmick that has worked. If you look at my making fun of Nick Spencer stuff where he defends this, Nick Spencer recently defended the relaunches because of the sales numbers and keeping titles alive that clearly people don't want to read, but we as comic book readers are very often quickly forgiving because we want things to be good. We want to give things a try. We want companies to be successful. I want Marvel to succeed. I don't want it to fail. And the reason why I keep talking about this is because I think that they're going to fail if they don't turn this ship in a different direction. And I just think they're completely oblivious what they're doing to their own company. Now, clearly, side noting this for a second, clearly comic book sales at Marvel's level is not the important aspect that it used to be. Not for them. For comic book stores and lesser publishers, I mean, yeah, it's the bread and butter. It is the make or break. And a lot of people, rightfully say, oh, well, Marvel Comics, they have all that Marvel movie money. They don't need the comics to sell. And to that, I agree, but that's missing the big picture. Where Marvel's making their money is the merchandising. Because like I said, I think I mentioned this in a previous video article. I'm sitting here trying to read while talking, and that's confusing me. I'll stop doing that. Where Cars, I don't know if you guys have seen Cars. It's a great little Pixar film. Part 1 is. Cars, 6 years ago, its merchandising was valued as, I'm not kidding, $10 billion. That's billion with a B. Cars. What's Cars got going for it? It's got 2 films, a 3rd film now, and then a series of shorts, the Mater Tales. And that's it. Okay? That's what Cars brings in. Can you imagine now what Spider-Man brings in? How much Spider-Man is worth? How much Captain America? was worth. We'll see what it's worth after they get done with him. What else we got? What do we have from the Marvel side? The can't say the X-Men. They've shut all that down. Can't say Fantastic Four. They shut all that down. And make no mistake, they shut that down because of Fox. The pissing contest that they're in with Fox. That is the only reason, no matter what they tell you, that is why they shut that down. They're trying to starve Fox out, and of course, thankfully, it's not working. As long as they're pulling these prick moves, I hope that Fox holds on to the Fantastic Four and the X-Men forever. As much as I would like to see the Fantastic Four back at Marvel, I'd really, really like to see the Fantastic Four back with Marvel. With the MCU, that is. As much as I would like to see Marvel doing these films, I think the prick moves that they make, that Disney makes, and how they piss on the fans because they're in corporate spats with another company, it's pathetic. It's well beneath them as a billion-dollar company, and they're not looking out for the fans at all. But that's my point, though. They don't need the comic book sales. The merchandising brings in a ton of money. I'm saying this because I'm looking at Marvel Legacy, and I'm thinking, well, what are they trying to do? And here's what Marvel says Marvel Legacy is. Marvel Legacy was announced by Marvel Comics, and this is via Wikipedia, by the way, was announced by Marvel Comics at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. The goal of the Legacy Initiative, their word, not mine, is to bring a greater focus to Marvel's core superheroes. Unlike recent relaunches such as Marvel Now, which gave prominence to newer and younger heroes. Marvel's Entertainment Chief Creative Officer Joe Quesada stated that the company was embracing their roots with the creation of this new comic book line. Marvel Comics Editor-in-Chief, the all-famous Axel Alonso, noted that the relaunch was about reminding readers of the company's rich history by highlighting the connections between characters and reintroducing some iconic characters. I'm going to stop right there. Axel, you could remind all of us readers of the company's rich history by actually writing good stories each month and not pissing all over the established characters. Digress. Moving on. The relaunch will begin in late 2017 following the conclusion of the Secret Empire storyline with the release of a 50-page one-shot titled Marvel Legacy No. 1. Writer Jason Aaron and artist Assad Ribic are collaborating on the... Where do they get these guys with these names? Are collaborating on the opening issue and laying the narrative groundwork for the line. The issue will introduce the first superhero team of Avengers. I'm not kidding you, this is real. That were active in the year 1 million BC. Hold on, pardon me. The story will span the history of the Marvel Universe and explore the connection between the prehistoric Avengers and their present-day counterparts. What the hell is that? The issue will see the return of a fan-favorite character into active service. Crickets. Quesada teased the cover artwork for the opening issue, hinting at the possible return of Bruce Banner as Hulk, Tony Stark as Iron Man, Thor, Odin's son, claiming the hammer, and the appearance of other superheroes in their classic costumes, because that's what we're worried about. Following the release of Marvel Legacy No. 1, many Marvel comic series will revert to their classic cumulative numbering system. Hear me, for now. For now, they'll return to the numbering system. Marvel is also creating a new and consistent cover design that recaptures their work from the 80s and 90s for their relaunching series. They are also reintroducing elements such as the Marvel Value Stamp, a collectible clip and save program, and the self-published fanzine Foom. F-O-O-M. Foom. And then it gives a list of the books that so as far as I can tell, and I've kind of looked into what other people who are far more knowledgeable than me know, they're doing, the books are the same as what they're printing now. And as far as I can tell, a lot of the characters are the same. That they're not actually reintroducing, they're not doing much with the original characters. And see, what I think, personally, is they sold this to the readers, us, as, you know what, we've heard you guys, you know what, we're going to stop this nonsense, we're going to get it back to the way it was, and we're going to press forward, please forgive us. And I mean, that's what we were hoping they were saying. Here's what I think they're doing. I think that they are trying to give legitimacy to the new crap SJW characters by teaming them up with established characters and going, look, they're on even ground. See, these guys are just as good as the old guys. Why don't you guys embrace these new ones? Seriously. Now, granted, I can't bring myself to buy a copy of America. I generally read reviews. I look at the artwork. I see what you guys have to say on your YouTube channels and other videos. I've started watching Diversity in Comics thanks to your recommendations. He's a great guy, man. His commentary is really good. If you've not checked out Diversity in Comics on YouTube, do that. From there, I learned. I started watching, Captain Cummings because of the commentary I wrote on Tom Brevoort, and he was the guy that was actually on Twitter arguing with him about the about the typos in their books, in their biggest books. Typos, bad grammar, bad editing, and rather than showing any humility, Brevoort just yells and screams and runs off and threatens to quit Twitter over it all. So, anyway, wrapping this part up, I've told you what I think Marvel Legacy is. I've told you that it doesn't matter. I don't believe this is going to matter. And at the heart of it, at the heart of this, I believe this is corporate decision money making. Do you know what Marvel Comics is now? Marvel Comics is the opposite of all the movie studios trying to mimic the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Studios. Because you know how all these other studios are trying desperately to cash in on the Marvel formula, and they're almost all of them without fail are failing at trying it because they're doing it all wrong. They're doing it backwards. They think if you just take this part of the recipe and then mix in this part of the recipe, you'll get the same result. Using completely different characters, trying to fast track it, etc., etc. I mean, making all kind of missteps and thinking that they're going to have the same type of success. And almost all of them are failing. Almost all of them are failing. They're falling flat on their faces, and it's this huge embarrassment. So now you have Marvel Comics, undeniably the industry leader for decades, aping DC and try and do it cheaply. They're selling it as it is, and people are, and from what I can tell, I'm looking online, everybody's confused as to what this actually is or is going to do, and it seems like Marvel's lying about what Legacy is and what Generations is going to be. They're keeping it under wraps because I don't think they have a good solid plan. I think they thought this was going to be a gimmick, and it is a gimmick. Mark my words, because that's all they do now. They use the same gimmick phrases to push the same gimmick titles that are going to have no consequence whatsoever because there's no consequences in comics anymore. Seriously, every action, everything can be undone. There are no stakes anymore in comics. And it's just really irritating to me. But they're looking at it, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place here. This is a corporate gimmick. This is to boost numbers for the end of the year, for the last quarter of the year. That's what this is. They're trying to boost annual sales. And we, being readers who are forgiving and hopeful, they keep using that against us because we keep trying. We keep going, okay, well, maybe we'll believe you this time. And it's like the old saying, shame on you if you fool me once, but shame on me if you fool me twice. Guys, we got to quit doing this. And again, I don't fault anybody if they like Secret Empire. or if they read these stories, if they really are big fans of Squirrel Girl or Hellcat or America, if it's really speaking to you, man, go get it. Support it. Support the work that you like. Do it. I don't like it. I mean, that's why I don't buy it. I don't like anything, almost anything that Marvel's doing. And frankly, I'll get into some of this stuff later, but the point is, it's a gimmick. And if we want real stories again that have real consequences, we've got to quit buying the gimmick. We really do. I know we get excited. We want this to be good. I encourage you, you know what? Look at it first. Look into it first. Read some reviews first. If you're a big fan, you want to buy it, I don't want to stop you. There's a lot of good artists and writers and, industry guys that need to work. They need to eat. I'm all about supporting the art. Always. Always. But at some point, it's got to cost Marvel. It's got to, the pushback has to cost them. So they see that, you know what, they can't keep doing the same old thing. This is what they do. This is what they do. I mean, Nick Spencer has spelled it out for us. Their technique for doing this. I'll link to the video in the description box actually, sharing what I'm talking about. If you haven't listened to that, Nick Spencer gave this big long rant on Twitter, defending this practice. I mean, he revealed Marvel's practice, and it is all about sales numbers and quote unquote keeping books alive. I'm like, look, I'm all for keeping books alive, but if people don't want to read them, at some point the people are going to catch on, Marvel, to your trickery. So don't be tricked. Don't be fooled. If you're genuinely excited and you're a fan, hey, get it. You know what? If you're like me and you're really cautious, be cautious. And don't be fooled anymore. Don't be tricked. Don't be tricked by a gimmick anymore. Marvel has gone too long with all the gimmicks and all the trickery. But so this went a lot longer. This went a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I had a couple more things I'll touch on, and I'll do these videos this week. But I want to stop here because I want to know what you think. I want to know what, first of all, can you explain to me what Marvel Legacy is? I mean, if you guys know more than me and you can kind of break it down or give me a link somewhere that helps explain this, please do. I am open. I would love to be wrong on this. This isn't about me being right over everybody else. It's, what is it? This is what I think that it is. This is why I think they're putting it out. But yeah, if you know, let me know. And let me know if you guys plan on buying anything. If any of this is actually any good, I'll try it. And I've my local comic book store is over an hour away from here, and I don't have a lot of money because I got family to feed and all that. I don't have a lot of money to spend on a lot of books, so I like to look at your recommendations, and I go after your recommendations. So if there's anything genuinely good in any of this, always feel free to leave comments, because I do look over every comment, and I make notes of what you guys say, and I do want to start incorporating your comments into the future videos because, like I said, I feel like you guys have a lot of good things to say. And if you completely disagree with me, that's cool too. I don't mind disagreements. I don't mind people, thank you for engaging. Thank you for letting me know your thoughts either way. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. I will get back to you soon with the other topics at hand that I wanted to go into. But until then, I'll catch you next time.